All right, so I wanted to say a couple words on the response of some conservative slash Republicans in the wake of Gabrielle Gifford, the representative from Arizona, her shooting. Um, some conservatives are kind of going on the offensive here and saying that they have to be on guard because liberals are going to try and blame the shooting on Tea Partiers. Um, and I would say that I don't think just because you're a Tea Partier that you have to carry blame for the shooting. People have pointed out that on his MySpace profile, apparently he included references to Karl Marx, having liked, read the Communist Manifesto. Um, but in a lot of his YouTube videos and posts, um, he expresses kind of a disdain for the illiterate, maybe taking some shots at immigrants, um, and sort of government as a whole. He seems kind of paranoid. He talks about he knows they're listening, like the FBI and the government. So I am not, I wouldn't ascribe his philosophies towards either liberals or conservatives. I don't think that we know enough about it to really say. He clearly disliked the Congresswoman Giffords. He would remark to a few friends that, she's stupid, she just doesn't get it. So he definitely had, I mean, this wasn't like he snapped. He had a history with this Congresswoman. Um, But I think what a bunch of social commentators and liberals are saying is that um, this could be a example of the conservative Tea Party, GOP, Republican rhetoric um, getting out of control, or it could be a precursor, or could serve as a warning shot. Any and all of the above. Um, I made a lot of a pretty big stink over kind of the rhetoric of the Tea Party. Sarah Palin, I'm not retreating, I'm reloading. Sharon Engel, if the election doesn't go their way, she's open to Second Amendment remedies. Sarah Palin's PAC put crosshairs on congressional seats they wanted to win. That all of this language and imagery and a lot of it's just politics. A lot of it is ginning up the base, getting Tea Partiers out to vote for conservative candidates. Um, but when you couple that with a bunch of rhetoric from conservatives that Obama is destroying the country, which Sarah Palin has said numerous times, um, when you create kind of this atmosphere of Armageddon slash apocalypse, um, people who are unhinged, like the Lautner, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, Loeffner, perhaps, um, they're susceptible to that kind of stuff. So if they start thinking, if he already had, which I believe he did, a general distrust of government, and then you add on top language about a congressman or woman, possibly destroying the country, and we need to, you know, push her out of government. Any of that talk, um, when people talk, you're not just talking to rational human beings. You're also talking to the irrational, the deranged, the delusional, and the extreme. And so I think what, at least from my perspective, what this should serve as is kind of a warning call that we can disagree. I was thinking about it yesterday. I mean, a lot of Congress people and reporters who are conservatives, um, when they say that Obama is destroying the country, they could more, appropriately say that he's raising taxes, which was gonna, hurt small businesses and lead to fewer job creation. But instead of, phrasing it in that intellectual and practical language that I know that they can use, they stick to the sound bites of, destroying the economy, or um, any other violent extremist language. Use your words, say what you mean. Um, you know, Give your constituents and your viewers more credit. That generally, I think Americans tend to be pretty intelligent. Um, so you don't have to just grab our headlines or grab our attention with these headlines, because I feel like maybe these snippets, um, which maybe make sense in your head, and I'm not saying politicians do it deliberately, although I think some of them do. I mean, I think there are some politicians who are Tea Party, conservative, GOP, Republicans, who truly believe that, Obama is destroying the country and he was born in Kenya and, um, he's a Muslim insider to bring down this country. I mean, I know people who are birthers who are, extreme right wing conservatives. Um, and a lot of times, there's nothing you can do or say to them that's going to break kind of that psychosis. But I think it's a wake up call. But it's I see like some self like Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck emailing each other. Like, I'm sure they're going to hit you hard too, and we just have to stand up for what we believe in. And this is not you know I'm not using this as a chance to attack conservatives. I don't agree with most conservative positions, but I don't think I'm not going to use it to attack the conservative agenda. I'm just attacking the language and the imagery and how you're phrasing stuff. I think you can still go after higher taxing, big spending, pro-choice, pro-gay Democrats without using potentially violent language and imagery. And so, you know, this isn't third grade. It's not sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words have um, the opportunity to drastically affect people, to turn somebody who is, just a deranged loner into a deranged gunman who shoots and kills 6 people and injures another 13. Or, you know, it's a lot of what Al Qaeda does. I mean, they brainwash. They're coming after us, but we have to go attack them first. Um, so I would just tone down the rhetoric. And there was a great piece by Dave Weigel, um, who was talking to a Tea Partier and said, maybe we should examine our language. And he was like, I don't want to have to do a disclaimer every time I say something. And it's like, just don't use violent imagery. It's like, maybe we need to have a timeout and do like a crash course in, like language 101 or public speaking, where people think, let me say stuff as detailed as possible without being wordy, um, in a way that nobody can misconstrue what I'm saying. That it'll be plainly obvious that, you know, I respect this person, but I disagree. And I think sometimes with like Fox being as extreme, I mean, I will say they're probably the only right wing TV station or cable news network, but they're pretty extreme. I mean, I know they have a lot of viewership, um, but I mean, just the way their hosts kind of take finite positions on stuff, and just this is the only way it could possibly be. Whereas I feel like CNN and MSNBC are more like, let's debate this, let's talk about what's going on. And so, anyways, that's it for now. Just reminder for everybody, left, right, center, whatever. Watch your language. That what you say and how you say it both matter. So that's it for now. And as an addendum to the video that um, directly precedes this one, I would challenge a bunch of conservatives are saying that there's nothing extraneous or nothing out of the ordinary about the recent political dialogue, and that it's the same on both sides, and both sides are guilty. And I would challenge conservatives to find where liberals in the last say in the last 8 years, the last 8 years have used similar language, similar imagery to what Tea Partiers and Republicans have used in the last 2 years. The same kind of destruction. I mean, because I started thinking about it, and I started thinking, well, what's the most extreme position that liberals have taken in the last little bit? And mostly it was over like the war and like some of this like Bush's illegal wiretapping, um, a bunch of stuff that was executive branch centered, whereas a bunch of the stuff that conservatives complain about now has actually gone through the legislature, both houses. So it's really kind of been stamped by the our elected officials instead of just executive orders. But I just wanted to say that the rhetoric is not even. If you think that conservatives and liberals um, are speaking the same kind of language, we're really not. Um, it is one sided. The vitriol is on one side. I'm not saying that liberals love conservatives, but we don't have the same. At least I have not encountered the same kind of um, animosity from the left to the right than I have seen from the right to the left. Um, so I think there's been a bit of false equivalency going on the last uh, couple days in the wake of the shooting. Um, but really in the last 2 years, um, bringing guns to rallies, talking about using your Second Amendment remedies, that sort of stuff. So I guess I can leave that as like an open letter, open challenge that to find the same rhetoric from even elected officials and candidates for office. I mean, I'm sure you can find a left wing crazy commentator, but a lot of the stuff that I cited just before was stuff that was um, like candidates for office, Sarah Palin, um, news hosts that identify themselves as conservatives. These aren't fringy McFringers. These are figureheads and the up and comers in the conservative movement. So, anyways, just thought I'd add that little piece in.